Liu Shizhou and I are the laughingstock couple of high society. He wrecked his legs chasing after his white moonlight in a fit of rage, crashing his car while tailing a bullet train. I've been secretly in love with my childhood sweetheart for 10 years, but never dared to confess. After marriage, we've been living in mutual resentment every single day. I mocked him. Can't even stand up straight, yet you're trying to chase after girls. He shot back. Says the one too scared to even confess their feelings. When I opened my eyes again, I'd traveled back to my high school days. This time, I gathered my courage to confess to my childhood friend. That night, the able-bodied boy pinned me against the wall with red-rimmed eyes. If you really choose him, do I mean nothing to you? 1. Came across a viral video of a high school heartthrob publicly confessing to his childhood sweetheart. I squealed with excitement while spamming the like button on my tablet. Ugh, childhood sweethearts are the absolute best. When I turn 19, I want a relationship just like this. Seated in his wheelchair, Liu Shizhou closed the documents and rubbed his temples in frustration. Xinyang, could you keep it down? As if struck by a thought, he scoffed. Couldn't even confess back then, like you'd ever get a girlfriend. My scrolling finger froze mid-swipe, a sudden sting pricking my nose. I'd been secretly in love with Zhou Du, my childhood friend, since we were kids, but I was too terrified that a failed confession would cost me even our friendship, until 5 years ago when Zhou Du left without a word to pursue opportunities abroad. My family's bankruptcy unexpectedly led me to marry Liu Shizhou, who already had someone else in his heart. Thus ended a decade of unrequited love. The more I thought about it, the sadder I felt, so I got up to retreat to my bedroom, passing by Liu Shizhou. My anger only grew with each step. Unable to resist, I gave his wheelchair a light kick. Look who's trying to play the romantic hero. Now he can't even stand on his own feet. You. Liu Shizhou's face instantly turned livid with rage. In the 3 years since marrying Liu Shizhou, we've been at each other's throats everywhere except the bedroom. Leaving him speechless instantly lifted my mood. I even slept more soundly that night, too. I must have dozed off for a while when someone lightly nudged my arm. Frowning irritably, I muttered, Liu Shizhou, give me a break tonight, will you? Suddenly, bursts of muffled laughter reached my ears. Ha ha ha, Xinyang's totally spaced out from napping in class. Looks like that campus forum rumor was true. She's absolutely obsessed with academic genius Liu Shizhou. Yeah, she was bawling her eyes out the other day, and now she's spouting nonsense again. Class, campus forum, what the hell? I groggily opened my eyes and saw Liu Shizhou standing there in his school uniform. A delicate blush spread across his pale cheeks. It wasn't until the teacher threw me out of the classroom that I vaguely realized, did I just magically time travel back to my student days 10 years ago? The blood-red sunset blazed across the sky as classroom recitations echoed through the air. Through the window pane, my gaze fell upon Liu Shizhou's perfectly intact legs beneath the desk. And those spotless white sneakers of his, their soles beginning to peel. Who could have imagined this near-destitute boy who spoke so little? He's destined to become a formidable powerhouse in the business world. 3. First thing after time traveling, gotta cozy up to the big shot. Of course, even if I can't latch onto the big fish, building some goodwill wouldn't hurt. At lunch in the cafeteria, I deliberately took the seat across from Liu Shizhou. The boy raised his dark eyes, meeting my gaze. What do you want? I pulled out my phone, opened the school forum and scrolled to a post, then shoved it in front of Liu Shizhou. School beauty Su Yangyang confesses to top student Liu Shizhou, while Xinyang appears heartbroken, sobbing uncontrollably on the nearby lawn. The forum thread had hundreds of comment layers. This morning, my high school memories came flooding back with startling clarity. The first thing I recalled was that bizarre post. God knows which wicked alumnus came up with that ridiculous title. With such a wild imagination, why don't you write novels instead? During that stressful final year of high school, I'd feed stray cats behind the teaching building every day after class. Over time, it went from being wary to rubbing against my legs on its own. Later, someone poisoned that cat to death. I couldn't hold back my sobs when burying it, completely oblivious to the heartfelt confession happening right beside me. The girl making that confession was my sworn rival, Liu Shizhou's lifelong white moonlight, Su Yangyang. After marrying Liu Shizhou, I learned from his personal assistant that he'd chased a high-speed train in desperation when he heard Su Yangyang was leaving to marry abroad. That's how the accident happened. Even while unconscious, 2 words kept escaping his lips, Yangyang. But I know Su Yangyang better than anyone. With that innocent face of hers, she takes perverse pleasure in watching scholarship students fight for her attention. She'd even say in front of all her friends, watching these poor souls sink deeper for me gives an indescribable sense of accomplishment. After explaining the Tieba incident, my throat was parched. I took a small sip from the mineral water on the dining table, yet Lu Shizhou's face remained unreadable, giving no hint whether he believed me. After a long silence, he finally spoke calmly, "Oh. That's my water you're drinking, me, / 4. Lu Shizhou was desperately short on cash, and money was the one thing I had in abundance. I paid him a hefty sum to tutor me after school. I made a point of avoiding Su Yangyang every day. This time, I couldn't bear to see Lu Shizhou break his leg again, because after marrying him, even though he didn't love me and we often bickered, he never mistreated me. He agreed without hesitation. Fully aware that I only married him to save my father's failing company. After arriving at the library, Lu Shizhou seemed slightly unwell. His long lashes drooped lazily as slender fingers massaged his temples. Spreading open my book, I asked with gossipy curiosity, "Do you like the girl who confessed to you that day?" Lu Shizhou lowered his eyes, his expression unreadable. "Why are you asking this?" I shook my head and opened the pencil case. "Nothing much, just wanted to tell you. No matter how much you like her, always put your own safety first from now on." Consider it a piece of advice for Lu Shizhou. Lu Shizhou's dark eyes remained calm, as if he didn't quite grasp what I was trying to say. Somehow at that moment, I was overwhelmed by a sudden sense of my own pettiness. Maybe in my eyes, Su Yangyang isn't exactly a good person, but what if in Lu Shizhou's heart, Su Yangyang is worth sacrificing everything for? The atmosphere turned awkward. So I randomly pointed at a physics problem. "Enough small talk, I can't solve this problem. Could you walk me through it?" Lu Shizhou picked up his pen, glanced at the problem, and began writing on the scratch paper. He carefully explained each formula needed for every step. Snowflakes drifted outside the window as his knuckles turned red from the cold, still clutching the pen. Several frostbites marred those slender, elegant fingers. All right, I get it now." I swiftly snatched the pen from his grasp and tucked a hand warmer into Lu Shizhou's arms. He froze for a moment. When he came to his senses, he only dared to warm his hands on the outer layer. Was Lu Shizhou this well-behaved in his youth? Then the chatterbox Lu Shizhou I married must be an imposter, right? After finishing one problem, I randomly pointed to another in the book. "I can't solve this physics problem either, Lu Shizhou. Could you take a look?" Lu Shizhou picked up his pen and casually asked while explaining, "Didn't you say you hated physics the most?" As the words left his mouth, he seemed to realize it was inappropriate and quickly added, "I hear you complaining about it to friends every day." My gaze fell downward. "I want to study abroad at a foreign university. To find a friend." The pen in their opposite hand froze mid-stroke, knuckles turning white. Lu Shizhou's brow furrowed as his expression abruptly cooled. He put down his pen and said coldly, "I can't do the rest, me." "That's a lie. I just saw him solve this problem in 3 minutes, and you're literally the god of academics. Are you kidding me?" Just like 10 years later, Lu Shizhou's temper would flare up without warning. I've never been able to understand him. The atmosphere grew tense when my phone suddenly buzzed twice on the table. It's a message from Zhou Du. "Yang. I'm returning home the day after tomorrow. Can you come pick me up?" 5. Zhou Du's returning this time to deliver the commencement speech as an honored alumnus. Over half the student body had shown up. I sat in the front row, watching the spotlighted figure on the stage. The girls beside me were whispering excitedly, "Senior Zhou is so handsome. I wonder if he's single." "Don't even think about it. Rumor has it Zhou Du's rejection list could form a line stretching all the way to France. With looks like his, who could resist falling for him?" I had a crush on Zhou Du too, just like any other girl experiencing first love. Ever since I can remember, Zhou Du had always been the most dazzling among all my childhood friends. Whether it's academics, looks, family background, or character, he excels in every aspect. Nearly every girl I know has confessed their feelings to him. The most vivid memory I have is when one of our childhood friends publicly confessed to Zhou Du. Zhou Du slumped irritably on the couch and hooked his arm around my neck. "You all approached me with ulterior motives, didn't you? Seems like Yang is the only one who genuinely sees me as a brother." I sipped my juice, lowering my head in guilt. Truth is, I was the one with the most hidden agenda, just too cowardly to confess. Seeing the girl's heartbroken expression only made me feel more sorrowful. A failed confession means even the chance to remain friends slips away. The waves of applause snapped me back to reality. The speech had ended. 6. Zhou Du walked toward me. All that talking really worked up an appetite. Zhou Du and I headed to the cafeteria together. During the meal, quite a few people kept glancing our way. I absolutely detested those prying stares. Even clearing the dishes draws constant stares. Muttering complaints under my breath as we left the restaurant. "You've got way too many admirers. We might as well be zoo gorillas with all this attention." Though barely audible, Zhou caught every word. He suddenly asked me. What about Yang Yang? Do you like her? I looked up in disbelief, meeting Zhou smiling eyes. That intense gaze made me start to harbor an impossible thought. Could it be, he likes me too? In that moment of distraction, I completely forgot I was descending the stairs. My foot slipped, sending me crashing hard toward the ground. 7. The staircase seemed endless. Had Zhou not grabbed me with lightning reflexes, I'd probably be sipping convalescent porridge in the ICU right now. Luckily it's just a scraped ankle with some skin torn off, and a slight sprain. The school nurse applied antiseptic ointment, and the stinging pain brought tears to my eyes. After dressing the wound, the nurse had us stay for observation. Zhou sat on the chair by the bed, flipping through my recent test papers. Your grades have improved quite a bit. Have you set your sights on any particular university? I also heard you have a crush on someone. Zhou runs our school's online forum. I shook my head awkwardly. No, they're just making things up. About college, I haven't really figured it out yet. Zhou closed my exam paper, a faint smile playing at the corners of his lips. Then come to my university in the future. I can wait for you. Yang Yang. Those words hit me like a ton of bricks, leaving me dizzy. Only when he stepped out to take the call did I start to regain my composure. What on earth did Zhou mean by that, if it was just auditory hallucinations before I fell? This time it couldn't possibly be, right? Just as my mind was in complete turmoil, an anxious female voice rang out at the school infirmary door. Uncle, Lou is having a terrible headache. Could you please come check on him? It was Su Yang, followed immediately by Lu Shizhou's voice. No need, I'll just lie down and rest through this class. Su Yang looked so frantic she seemed on the verge of tears. That won't do. Rustling sounds came from the other side. Likely the doctor examining Lu Shizhou. While the school nurse fetched medicine, Su Yang's bashful voice drifted through the curtains again. Lu Shizhou, did you reject me because you've fallen for Shenyang? The air hung heavy for seconds as I clutched the sheets, pretending to be invisible. After what felt like eternity, Lu Shizhou's hoarse voice came through the wall. He said, no. Su Yang's lips curled into a pleased smile. Then I can rest easy. At that moment, an inexplicable bitterness flooded my mouth. Even I couldn't figure out how it started. 8. The wound got infected, and I woke up with a fever the next morning. It was Zhou who helped me request sick leave. I stood dizzily at the stairwell landing, waiting for him to take me home. Shortly after the bell rang, Lu Shizhou emerged from the classroom at the far end of the corridor. He was clutching a registration form for the math competition. I lowered my gaze, absent-mindedly staring at the white bandage wrapped around my ankle. Suddenly, a tall shadow loomed over me. Lu Shizhou's crisp, clear voice came from above me. Final exams are coming up soon. Would you like me to come to your place after school for tutoring? I looked up, my voice hoarse beyond recognition. No, thank you. Coincidentally, Zhou was already walking out of the dean's office with the leave request slip in hand. He supported me as we moved forward, walking away from the person standing behind us. I think, if we could start over, we probably wouldn't cross paths again, would we? I really hope Lu Shizhou took my previous words to heart. 9. After the new semester started, the teacher reassigned our seats. Seats were chosen based on final exam rankings. Lu Shizhou got first pick. He walked into the classroom and went straight to his usual seat, middle row, right side by the window. When it was my turn, I chose the seat by the window at the far right of the third row. Glancing out, I saw rows of cherry blossom trees in the courtyard. The blossoms in late March will be absolutely stunning. After that, I never initiated more than a few words with Lu Shizhou. The only updates I got were hearing about his latest math competition wins at award ceremonies. The school's guaranteed admission spot was undoubtedly his for the taking, yet even after winning the competition prize, he still sat for the college entrance exams, voluntarily yielding the guaranteed admission to another classmate. Probably wanted to attend the same university as Su Yang, but none of this concerns me anymore. 10. On the day the college entrance exam ended, I truly felt like I'd been given a second chance at life. The bell rang, and a liberating breeze swept over me. Stepping out of the examination hall, watching female classmates rush into their boyfriends' arms with radiant happiness on their faces, it suddenly dawned on me. Did I really marry Lu Shizhou without ever experiencing a proper romance? Yang, over here. Zhou stood not far away, calling my name loudly alongside my family. It suddenly came back to me. During the 2-day break before the college entrance exams, my deskmate took up fortune-telling. She said, Yang, this month favors romance. Your confession success rate hits 80%. Is this the universe nudging me to prevent future regrets? Then I'll take the leap, no matter the outcome. 11. so after the college entrance exams, my deskmate Xiuan and I went wild for days before I finally remembered I was supposed to confess my feelings. It was Zhou Du who texted me first. "Wanna go out tonight?" "Can't. I've got a high school reunion tonight. Text me when the party's over. I'll come pick you up." "Alright." The night hummed with restless energy. I'd put on special makeup and wore the new black princess dress I bought yesterday while shopping with Xiuan. It was a style I'd never tried before. The party was already in full swing when I arrived at the private room. I slipped into a corner seat. Xiuan emerged from the crowd and playfully bumped my shoulder with a giggle. "Oh my god. I knew this dress would look amazing on you. Who would have guessed you had such a killer figure under that plain school uniform? Honestly, forget that guy you're planning to confess to. I'm halfway in love with you myself. You still haven't told me. Is he someone from our class?" Her voice kept rising with excitement, drawing glances from nearby classmates. "Keep it down." I quickly covered her mouth and made a shush gesture. My panicked gaze darted around until it locked with Lu Shizhou sitting in the far corner. Doesn't he always skip these class reunions? At this inopportune moment, I remembered our last post-marriage argument. Lu Shizhou's mocking words slipped out. "Too chicken to even confess. Like hell you'll ever get a relationship." I've never told a soul about my feelings for Zhou Du. Not even Zhou Du himself knew. So how the hell did Lu Shizhou figure out I liked Zhou Du? Before I could think, Shenwan pressed again about which class I was in. I picked up the fruit wine on the table and took a small sip. "I don't go to your school." By the time the party was halfway through, I'd already downed 3 glasses of fruit wine, just enough liquid courage without getting properly drunk. 12. When I heard people clamoring to move the party to dinner, a glance at my watch told me it was getting late. After saying my goodbyes to the event organizer, I slipped out of the private room. Just as I was hesitating whether to text Zhou Du, a hand yanked me into the stairwell. It was Lu Shizhou. Not a threat. My guard immediately dropped. "He reeks of alcohol." I could tell he was in a bad mood. "Lu Shizhou, are you mad at me?" Who pissed him off? Lu Shizhou suddenly closed in on me with a mocking laugh. "Are you asking about the 19-year-old Lu Shizhou, or the 27-year-old one?" My head suddenly throbbed as if struck by a mallet. Could it be? Lu Shizhou traveled back in time too. In the dim glow of the hallway lights, I took a closer look. Though dressed in a plain t-shirt, there wasn't a trace of youthful innocence in those faintly reddened eyes, only simmering rage and the restrained dignity of someone accustomed to authority. I didn't even know how to face him, my grip tightening slightly on my bag. "When did you get back?" "Just now." The moment I returned, I heard she was going to confess to someone else. A restless fury churned in his chest with no outlet. 19-year-old Lu Shizhou was furious. But 27-year-old Lu Shizhou was even angrier. I pursed my lips. "What are you so mad about? I didn't do anything wrong. We used to be married, but now we're not. Maybe we should just go our separate ways." The words died on their lips as a cold mouth sealed them shut, more like savage biting than a kiss. The metallic taste of blood spread between our lips as I desperately recoiled in pain, only to meet the unyielding coldness of the wall behind me. The figure before me remained immovable no matter how hard I pushed. After what felt like eternity, he finally released me. My lip was bitten raw, the pain making me whimper. "Lu Shizhou, what gives you the right to bully me?" His grip on my arm tightened, voice dripping with ice. "So you'd rather be with that guy? Do I mean nothing to you?" I stayed silent, just crying pathetically. He pressed on. "Xinyang, do you hate me?" "Do I hate him?" This moment is downright unbearable, drunk and confused. I couldn't fathom why Lu Shizhou wouldn't let me go when he already had someone else. Before I could answer, Lu Shizhou pressed another alcohol-tinged kiss upon me. In the cramped confines, intoxication and tension kept rising. Amidst our entangled lips, I heard him whisper, "Even if you despise me, I can't bring myself to stop." 13. That night ended with me slapping Lu Shizhou across the face. After telling Zhou Du that my family was sending someone to pick me up, I grew increasingly frustrated with myself. Lu Shizhou deliberately bit my lip, ruined my entire confession plan completely. When I woke up the next morning, my phone exploded with notifications the moment I turned it on. It all came from one person. "No matter what you think, we're still married in my eyes. Forget about being with Zhou Du. That's never happening." Article 1041 of the Marriage Law. The state protects marriage and family relations, upholding the principles of marriage freedom, monogamy, and gender equality in marriage. Article 1042 of the Marriage Law prohibits bigamy, cohabitation while married, domestic violence, as well as abuse and abandonment among family members. Xinyang, did you see this? What caught my attention were the last 3 messages. They were sent at 7:00 a.m. "You awake? Still hurting? Come down." I got ointment, so, did this guy never leave after dropping me home last night? I pulled back the curtains and sure enough, spotted that familiar figure on the bench downstairs. 14. I went downstairs, grabbing a cup of freshly made soy milk on my way. Finish this and get yourself home to bed. I talked myself into it. If I weren't afraid he'd actually drop dead downstairs, I wouldn't be this kind. He took the soy milk. I glanced sideways. The cuts by his mouth looked worse than mine. This guy's a rabid dog, biting me even if it means biting himself in the process. I spoke up to reason with him. Lu Shizhou, in 10 years we'll both be carrying torch for others, just going through the motions. Now that we've been given a second chance, why repeat the same mistake? Lu Shizhou cut me off coldly. Stop overthinking it. I told you, you're staying with me. I was so furious I wanted to stomp my feet. How can you be so domineering? You're head over heels for Su Yangyang. Yet you won't let me pursue my own happiness. Lu Shizhou frowned. I don't have feelings for Su Yangyang. I was there in the school infirmary that day when you were with Su Yangyang. I heard every word of your conversation. You're the one who said you don't like me. What gives you the right to tell me what to do? Lu Shizhou was speechless. When had he ever said he didn't like Shenyang? Soon, he realized the misunderstanding between them. Shenyang, when I said no, I meant it wasn't because I like you that I rejected her, even without you in the picture. I'd have turned her down. I had a splitting headache at the time and couldn't be bothered to explain. Had I known you were listening, I would have said the whole thing properly. All this beating around the bush is giving me a headache. Yeah, right, like I'd believe that. I pursed my lips and got up, ready to head home for a nap. Shenyang, Lu Shizhou called out to stop me. I froze. My legs have healed. I can stand now. A faint breeze whispered past my ears. I heard Lu Shizhou's voice. There lingered an imperceptible tremor within. 15. Both our families were there when seeing Zhou Du off abroad. At the security checkpoint, he turned back and flashed me a smile. On the way back, my mind wandered through countless thoughts. I think Zhou Du said something similar to me before my rebirth, but that was meant for the real 18-year-old Shenyang. Back then, Shenyang couldn't understand, or rather, didn't dare to understand, even with liquid courage that night. I probably still couldn't have confessed, even if I went back to high school. My mind is no longer that of an 18 or 19-year-old girl. At 18, Shenyang's heart would race uncontrollably at the sight of Zhou Du's face, longing to be with him. But at 26, Shenyang instinctively weighs countless considerations, such as, Zhou Du aspires to make his mark abroad and build an extraordinary career. I prefer staying close to home with more modest ambitions, in his free time. He enjoys adrenaline-pumping activities like rock climbing and racing. I'd rather stay indoors tending to my flowers. His gentle demeanor was merely a facade, masking an inner ruthlessness few could fathom, yet I was his polar opposite. The moment our paths crossed again at the airport, I should have known. Zhou Du and I were never meant to be together. I might have unknowingly fallen for someone else, as I stepped out of the airport. 16. A beggar walking towards me bumped into my shoulder. Though in a hurry, he still turned his head to apologize. I forced a smile. It's nothing. Excuse me. That face looked strangely familiar, but I couldn't for the life of me remember where I'd seen it before, until his figure grew smaller and smaller, eventually vanishing into the crowd. That very night, I dreamed about my past kidnapping experience. In the dream, it was during my junior year of college. What the police described as a terrifying ordeal was just a nap to me. During my junior year, I was walking down the street when two strangers suddenly grabbed me. All I remember is being drugged and tied up in the back seat. I woke up completely unharmed in a hospital bed. An officer stood by my bedside, telling my parents how perilous the situation had been. Those two criminals were fugitives who'd evaded capture for 5-6 years. When police closed in again recently, they resorted to taking a hostage for their escape, and I became their unlucky hostage. If their escape plan failed, they wouldn't hesitate to kill me as a scapegoat. Fortunately, their car crashed on the road, one dead and another severely injured. They were captured on the spot by the police. The impact came at such a tricky angle that the back seat took minimal damage, so I walked away without a scratch. Just as I was secretly celebrating my luck, the dream scene abruptly shifted. In the kidnapper's car, I was tied up unconscious in the back seat. The kidnapper in the passenger seat nervously glanced at the rearview mirror. Boss, besides the cops, there's a damn sports car tailing us. The driver kept his eyes on the road, his face twisting into a demonic grin. Screw them. Once we're past this stretch of road, we'll lose them for good. As we neared the fork in the road ahead, the sports car suddenly accelerated, plowing into the kidnapper's vehicle with blinding speed before anyone could react. The roar of engines, wailing sirens, and panicked shouts all flooded my mind at once. A swarm of police officers closed in from all sides. Through the swirling dust, I finally made out the figure in the driver's seat of the sports car, Liu Shizhou. Thick streams of blood trickled down his forehead as he lay there unconscious. I rushed forward in desperation, desperate to save him. From beginning to end, I felt like nothing more than a spectator, frozen in place. The scene shifted back to the hospital again, this time. I spotted Liu Shizhou's personal assistant, Xiao Chen. The operating room lights went out. The doctor came out and shook his head at Xiao Chen. He said, "We couldn't save Mr. Liu's leg in the end." At 1 a.m., I jolted awake, 17. I desperately tried to convince myself it was just a dream, yet the dream felt terrifyingly real, so vivid that remembering it after waking made my blood run cold. My hands trembled as I picked up the phone to type, "Liu Shizhou, I need to see you." He replied instantly. "Get dressed and come down in 20 minutes. No, send me your location, I'm coming to you." The typing indicator kept blinking for ages, as if they were wrestling with something. Eventually, a location pin popped up. When I spotted Liu Shizhou, he was standing under a street lamp at the alley's entrance. His tall, lanky frame made him stand out. As I stepped out of the car, he walked toward me. A lump formed in my throat as I fought back tears. "How did you injure your leg in your past life?" "It wasn't from chasing some high-speed train. You were saving me, weren't you?" Liu Shizhou fell silent, his steps freezing abruptly. He seemed stunned by how I'd figured it out. "Were you never going to explain unless I asked?" This time, he didn't hesitate. My eyes burned with anger, yet no words would come out. "Yes." After what felt like an eternity of stalemate, Liu Shizhou suddenly furrowed his brows. He pulled me forward as my feet dragged like they were weighted with lead. Liu Shizhou pressed me down onto a roadside bench. "Take a seat first." He pulled a bottle of floral water from his shorts pocket. Looking down, I noticed several swollen mosquito bites on my calves. Kneeling down, he carefully applied it for me. My nose stung even more as I asked him, "Why do you carry this around with you?" "When you said you were coming, I remembered how this place is swarming with mosquitoes. I bought it at the convenience store by the roadside." Applying the ointment, he hesitated briefly before speaking up. "I didn't tell you because I didn't want you coming to me out of guilt. What I truly want is for you to love me for who I am." But when I found out, all I felt was heartache. I muttered under my breath, "I'm not the type to be with someone out of guilt." Someone as sharp as Liu Shizhou would never miss the subtext in my words. From where I stood, I could just make out the flush creeping up his neck. A long silence stretched between us. The silence grew so tense that I started feeling nervous, until Liu Shizhou finally set down that bottle of floral water. He sat down beside me. "The exam results come out the day after tomorrow. Which university are you aiming for?" "Haven't decided yet, but this time I'm thinking of studying medicine." After careful consideration, Luxizu quickly zeroed in on the target. "Let's go to college in City C. It's close to home and has suitable majors and universities for both of us." When the results came out, I scored over 40 points higher than I'd estimated, 18. I got accepted into the top medical school at C University. Liu Shizhou accompanied me on my first day of freshman year. His semester started 2 days later than mine, to prevent any potential kidnapping incidents. Liu Shizhou outright bought an apartment near both our universities, stay in the dorm during busy weeks, head home when the schedule lightens up. I knew he had remarkable business acumen, but I was still stunned to learn he'd earned enough for a down payment in just one summer. On the way to school, sitting in the passenger seat, I stole occasional glances at him. Liu Shizhou's black shirt today revealed just a hint of his collarbones, accentuating his sharp jawline. I licked my parched lips. My inner fangirl went into overdrive, yet something felt off. Liu Shizhou, trying to show off like a peacock today. At the red light, Liu Shizhou turned to look at me. "This is how I always dress at home." I thought about it. He was right. Liu Shizhou is a shirt enthusiast. Most of his wardrobe consists of dress shirts, mostly in black and white, probably because I've gotten used to his high school fashion choices. How did I never notice how good-looking Liu Shizhou was before, walking into campus? He pulled the suitcase with one hand and held mine with the other. Only after finishing everything did we leave. As expected, that very afternoon, he became the most talked about person on the campus forum. "OMG, he's so hot, I just had a spiritual ascension." "Huh, are you for real?" "Sock puppet upstairs, I know him, that's my brother's sister's husband." Y'all wouldn't believe it, finally became a background character in a college romance novel after failing in high school. When I came across it, I casually forwarded the post to Liu Shizhou. "You sure know how to attract attention," paired it with a sarcastic meme. 10 minutes later, Liu Shizhou sent the same post back to me. 19. I clicked into it. Then I saw a follow-up post. "Everyone, just move along. Turns out they're from the neighboring school and already taken. The screenshot shows a Weibo post, a screenshot of Lu Shizhou's Weibo. It's a selfie of me and him together. We look so good together. And the girl is gorgeous. Of course someone this devastatingly handsome would have a girlfriend, or at least a boyfriend. I just knew I'd be the internet's favorite drama queen in this novel. After all that, practically everyone at military training knew I was dating Lu Shizhou from the neighboring school. Gotta admit, when it comes to scheming, I'll never outmatch Lu Shizhou. Lu Shizhou drove me to the high-speed rail station during the National Day holiday, 20, after getting home. I texted him to say I arrived safely, made it home, happy National Day holiday. He instantly replied, happy National Day, sweetheart. I sat on the couch lost in thought. It seemed like every holiday in my past life, except for Valentine's Day and our anniversary, Lu Shizhou would always use work as an excuse to send me back to my family. I used to think he had it in for me, but upon reflection, I sensed he was definitely hiding something from me. After telling my parents, I booked the earliest ticket to City C. The two cities aren't too far apart, just a 3-hour high-speed train ride. After entering the room, I hid my shoes and crawled into the wardrobe. Through the wardrobe slats, I could see into the living room. 10 minutes later, a rustling sound came from the doorway. Lu Shizhou had returned. He set down the things he was carrying and opened his notebook, went to the kitchen to boil water. I took out my phone and texted him, Lu Shizhou, what are you up to right now? Then I watched him expertly prepare instant noodles while texting me back, out enjoying a fancy dinner with friends. The lies just grow on Lu Shizhou like moss on a stone. Then turn around and look. He froze abruptly, actually turning his head to look, seeming to realize how foolish he looked being tricked. He let out a soft, dejected chuckle. I gingerly opened the cabinet door and tiptoed over to Lu Shizhou's side, far from being startled. He flipped me onto the sofa before I could even attempt to scare him. I asked him, how did you find out? Lu Shizhou gestured with his eyes toward the mirror across the bedroom. Why did you never spend holidays with me before? Lu Shizhou's smile was strained. I've been living under someone else's roof since childhood, moved out on my own in middle school, never really celebrated holidays, worried you'd find me boring company. Those who feel unworthy love with cautious tenderness. I forcibly swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat. Then why don't you go out with friends instead? Instead, I'm holed up at home working, too busy to even cook. Xinyang, I can't wait to marry you. His voice was tinged with deep exhaustion. I pulled him down to rest his head on my lap. Hush now, just lie down and rest. Before I could finish speaking, my stomach growled loudly at the worst possible moment. Skipped lunch and spent hours on the bullet train. No wonder I'm starving. I'm hungry. Lu Shizhou couldn't help but burst out laughing. My face flushed crimson as I frantically tried to cover his mouth. Don't you dare laugh. Lu Shizhou stood up and grabbed his coat. Shall we go grocery shopping together? Just like that, we went. Until 5 years ago when Zhou Du left without a word to work for an overseas company. 20. At that moment, I deliberately prolonged our kiss for over 10 minutes, feeling his scorching body heat, yet deliberately pushing him away. Alright, go attend to your business. Lu Shizhou was utterly defeated. It makes no difference whether you tend to it now or later. He straightened up and undid his cufflinks, as if struck by a thought. His hand stilled mid-motion. Lu Shizhou hoisted me up from the couch with a raspy voice. Sweetheart, go change into that little black dress. What little black dress? I was utterly confused. The next second, Lu Shizhou let out an awkward chuckle. That dress really looks good on you. The words looks good were practically ground out between clenched teeth. My lips twitched. Are we never going to let that go? That night, Lu Shizhou never did get around to writing code. The end. Story 2. I found a ring. And after putting it on, the school heartthrob Lu Minghan fell in love with me at first sight and started pursuing me madly. I'm just an ordinary person, but he insists I'm the most beautiful girl in the world. Even his friends say he's gone crazy, mocking that love is blind and he's mistaking a fisheye for a pearl. After being with Lu Minghan for 6 months, I gradually accepted this reality, let down my guard, and opened up to him, even visiting his family home. But the very next day, my ring went missing. Lu Minghan panicked, pushed me away, and demanded to know who I really was. He broke up with me in front of our friends, demonizing me as some kind of monster. The Shenli I knew wasn't like this. It's disgusting. I actually spent over half a year with a woman like this. Time rewound, and the ring took me back 6 months. Turns out wearing it could transform me into my crush's ideal type. I stared at the ring in a daze but didn't put it on again. Instead, I locked it away and never touched it. What I didn't expect was that Lu Minghan also traveled back 6 months with me. 1. After standing up Chen Jiajiao, she didn't attend the gathering that evening. She spoke with a dejected expression. Lu Minghan never showed up to the dinner. It seems he's fallen ill. I froze for a moment before offering her some words of comfort. Then next time, Chen Jiajiao held onto my arm and pouted. Shenli, will you come with me to the next dinner? It's all men there. And I'm the only girl, it's so awkward for me. I smiled and pushed her hand away. Why don't you just ask Lulu to go with you? Chen Jiajiao's expression froze for a moment. She won't go. Shenli, please say yes to me. I'm begging you. I knew why Chen Jiajiao was so insistent on dragging me along, because Sulu was pretty, and she couldn't allow her to steal the spotlight, while I was average looking, the perfect supporting character. In my past life, I followed Chen Jiajiao to a party. But to everyone's surprise, Lu Minghan didn't take a liking to Chen Jiajiao. Instead, he developed a special fondness for me, the green leaf beside the flower. After the party ended, Lu Minghan began pursuing me relentlessly. At first, I couldn't understand his intentions and thought it might be some prank by these privileged elites, but his subsequent pursuit and attitude gradually made me lower my guard. He treated me exceptionally well. Remaining steadfast regardless of his friends' dissuasions, I could see his sincerity and was gradually moved by him, eventually becoming his girlfriend. But just when I gave him my heart, after a night of passion, Lu Minghan changed. He screamed and drove me out, claiming he didn't know me at all. I felt like I'd fallen into hell. When I returned to school, I found my ring was missing and had to go back to Lu Minghan's house to search for it. When I went back, Lu Minghan was with friends. His face was full of disgust, looking utterly repulsed. The Shenli I knew wasn't like this. It's disgusting. I actually spent over half a year with such a woman. What the hell is going on? I stood frozen in place, my soul seemingly drained away. The next second, time rewound, and I returned to the period before Lu Minghan knew me. The dropped ring lay quietly in my drawer. I unwrapped the packaging and saw the instruction sheet inside the box. Turns out this ring possessed magic. Wearing it would transform you into your crush's ideal type. Seeing my failed attempts to win over Lu Minghan, it directly sent me back 6 months. I stared blankly at the ring, but never put it on again, instead locking it away in a cabinet, never to touch it. 2. Not long after, Chen Jiajiao started begging me again. Lu Minghan organized another gathering, specifically inviting Chen Jiajiao, and even asked her to bring her roommate along. Shenli, please. I'm begging you, come with me. I was utterly annoyed and shouted out in the dorm. Lu Minghan said you could bring your roommate, so everyone in the dorm could go. Why don't you ask them? See who wants to have dinner with Lu Minghan. As soon as I mentioned it, it quickly piqued everyone else's interest. Turns out Chen Jiajiao had only told me about it, but now everyone knew and got excited, in the end, except for me. Everyone in the dorm agreed to go. Sulu also came over to persuade me. Everyone's going, so just come along. Shenli, it's college. You should experience college life at least once. Sulu's words made me hesitate. It's been almost a month since I returned, and I feel like my heart has become still as water regarding Lu Minghan. Perhaps treating him with calmness would make it easier to dispel his charm. Besides, without the halo brought by the ring this time, and with all my roommates being beauties, I doubt anyone would bother me. Just treat it as going out for a fancy meal. After agreeing, on that day I didn't even put on makeup, just wore a hoodie with jeans, tied my hair in a ponytail, and went out looking fresh and clean. Lu Minghan and his group arrived early. The people who came to pick them up were Lu Minghan's classmates. As expected, I didn't attract any attention, and no one tried to strike up a conversation with me. We quietly made our way to the dinner gathering. Lu Minghan sat in the corner, dressed simply. Yet his handsome face made his clothes look like high-end tailored suits. He was good-looking and came from a wealthy family. Hardly any girl could see him without their heart racing. After taking my seat, I heard Chen Jiajiao's excited voice. Shenli, is Lu Minghan looking at us? I looked up and met Lu Minghan's gaze. His brows tightly furrowed, his sharp eyes held a complex expression, as if trying to see right through me. My brow twitched as I nodded with a quiet Yes, he's looking at you. I was naturally quiet to begin with, and once the dishes arrived, I focused entirely on eating, completely disengaging from the table conversation and tuning out all the noise, until Sulu awkwardly nudged me. Shenli. I looked up and only then noticed everyone's gazes were on me. Lu Minghan's face was dark, his expression particularly stiff. Shenli, Lu Minghan just greeted you, Sulu whispered softly, while Lu Minghan smiled with a hint of mockery in his eyes. Jiajiao, how long has your friend been starving to eat like this? After Lu Minghan's remark, the room fell silent for a moment. His friend Jiang Rang was the first to react. quickly stepping in to defuse the situation. Minghan, what kind of talk is that? You're just worried there won't be enough food, waiter. Let's order a few more dishes. Lu Minghan didn't respond. I wiped my mouth, stood up, and smiled graciously at everyone around. Sorry, I hadn't eaten before coming and was too hungry. I'll punish myself with a drink. You all enjoy yourselves, no need to mind me. I picked up the drink and downed it in one go, but Lu Minghan still wore a sour expression, finding fault again, using a drink to toast us. That's not very sincere. I looked at Lu Minghan with calm eyes. I'm allergic to alcohol. Sulu awkwardly pulled me aside and explained to Lu Minghan, Shenli really is allergic to alcohol, the kind who collapses after one drink. After I sat down, Lu Minghan kept a cold face and didn't say another word from start to finish. I didn't care why he was acting up. After finishing the meal, when they were about to go sing, I announced my departure. Qin Jiaojiao awkwardly apologized to me. Sorry, Shenli. I didn't know Lu Minghan would act like this tonight. He might be in a bad mood. I waved my hand saying it was nothing, and as I went out, I saw Jiang Rang and Lu Minghan who had helped me out earlier. What's wrong with you? Had too much to drink. Why give that girl a hard time? The companion beside also chimed in. Yeah, even if she's not good looking, you could just ignore her. Why make the atmosphere so awkward? I happened to walk over, and those guys were all stunned. Jiang Rang was the first to react. Shenli, let's go sing together. I smiled at him. No thanks. You guys have fun, I'm heading back. Jiang Rang walked towards me. Let me walk you back. Before I could speak, I heard Lu Minghan say coldly, let her walk by herself. 3. I looked at Lu Minghan, feeling anger rising in my heart too. Jiang Rang, you should see me off. Jiang Rang was taken aback for a moment, then followed me. I'll see Shenli off. You all go ahead first. After Jiang Rang came out with me, he asked curiously, did you know Lu Minghan before? I don't know you. I hailed a taxi, then turned to look at Jiang Rang. What I said earlier was out of anger. You can go back. I don't need you to see me off. I got in the car, but Jiang Rang insisted on coming with me. I don't feel comfortable letting a girl take a cab alone at night. I couldn't help but chuckle. You're quite the gentleman. I didn't talk much with Jiang Rang in the car, and when we arrived at school, he asked for my WeChat, but I didn't give it, pretending to be a self-absorbed girl. I'm not planning to date anyone. Sorry. Jiang Rang's face turned slightly red. I'm not. See you later. I interrupted him and walked away coolly. I knew Jiang Rang couldn't possibly be interested in me. He's good looking, on par with Lu Minghan. How could he possibly take a liking to someone like me? I was just making excuses to keep these people away from me, but after today, Jiang Rang seemed to take an interest in me and started frequently reaching out. He asked Qin Jiaojiao for my WeChat and often picked me up after class. Today was no exception. He brought me milk tea and asked me out for dinner outside the classroom. Are you free later? Want to grab dinner together? Qin Jiaojiao came out with me and looked utterly surprised when she saw Jiang Rang striking up a conversation with me. Are you asking Shenli out for dinner? Jiang Rang nodded. I was also extremely curious about why Jiang Rang had taken an interest in me. I agreed to have dinner with him, and on the way, I asked him, do you think I'm pretty? Am I the goddess in your mind? Jiang Rang was left speechless by my question. I confirmed he wasn't affected by the halo, then continued asking, probably not, right? I look pretty ordinary. Why would you ask me out to eat? Jiang Rang thought for a moment. I think your personality is quite interesting. I smiled faintly. Oh really? I don't quite believe that. I was chatting with him, looking quite intimate. When at that moment, I saw Lu Minghan. Lu Minghan stood in the distance, his gaze icy cold, staring intently at us. Looking at him, I naturally took Jiang Rang's hand. Jiang Rang froze in place, while Lu Minghan approached from the other side, suppressing his anger as he pulled me over. Jiang Rang, she's nothing like what you see. Snap out of it. Lu Minghan's words sent a shiver down my entire body. Jiang Rang couldn't comprehend what Lu Minghan was saying. What are you talking about? What's wrong with Shenli? Let her go. You're hurting her. Jiang Rang wanted to come pull me away, but Lu Minghan had already grabbed me and dragged me off. My mind was in turmoil. I tried to break free, but couldn't no matter how hard I struggled. When we reached a quiet spot, Lu Minghan finally released my hand, his eyes dark as he glared at me. What's this? Shenli, since you can't conquer me, you've switched targets. Are you really this fickle, this fond of deceiving people? 4. I furrowed my brows, growing increasingly uneasy inside. What are you talking about? Lu Minghan clenched his teeth tightly. You know what I'm talking about. I fell silent, forming a ridiculous speculation in my mind. If I've gone back half a year, is it possible that Lu Minghan also traveled back half a year like me? If that's the case, then all his current reactions would make sense. My mind is in complete turmoil, thinking how cruel fate can be to play such tricks on me. But I truly don't want to have any interaction with Lu Minghan anymore, so I pretended not to understand him. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no relationship with Jiang Rang. I'm not interested in him. Please make it clear to him and tell him to stop bothering me. I spoke wearily, silently apologizing to Jiang Rang in my heart. There was no other way. If I wanted to stay away from Lu Minghan, I had to distance myself from his friends as well, this time. I just want to live my life in peace and quiet. I'm just an ordinary person. I can't participate in the lives of those privileged elites. You, Lu Minghan looked absolutely furious. How can you be so shameless? Clearly, it was you who schemed to seduce Jiang Rang. And now you're telling him to get lost. I raised an eyebrow. What scheme am I playing? Didn't you tell Jiang Rang not to be fooled by me? I can't be bothered to deceive him, nor do I care to interact with you all. We're not close, so don't disturb me in the future. Lu Minghan sneered. It better be that way. I nodded, definitely. With this utterance, I bid farewell in my heart. Lu Minghan, let's have no more entanglements in this lifetime. Lu Minghan froze, his mouth opening slightly. But no words came out. I turned and walked away, leaving Jiang Rang confused about what had happened. But after that, I ignored him completely. When he came looking for me, I pretended not to see him. After several attempts, Jiang Rang blocked the classroom door, standing right in front of me the moment I stepped out. Shenli, can we talk? His face was pale, with dark circles under his eyes, looking like he hadn't slept well. I sighed. Didn't I tell you not to come looking for me? I'm not interested in you. Jiang Rang's expression looked somewhat hurt. Is it because of Minghan? What did he say to you? His words don't represent my thoughts. Shenli, please don't take them to heart. Okay, my expression was indifferent. It has nothing to do with him. I'm really not interested in you. Please stop coming to me. I need to focus on studying now. Jiang Rang pressed his lips together, forcing a strained smile. You've misunderstood. I just want to be friends. Is even that not allowed? I felt a bit reluctant, but still said, sorry, please don't come looking for me anymore. Many people witnessed this scene, including my roommate Qin Jiajiao. That night, when I returned from studying, I heard Qin Jiajiao's voice at the dormitory entrance. Does Jiang Rang have some kind of ugly fetish? Why would he be interested in Shenli? I've racked my brains trying to figure it out. Shenli is so ordinary. While he's so handsome, how could he possibly pursue her? And to top it off, he got rejected by Shenli. This world is just too surreal. Qin Jiajiao sighed in amazement. Listening from outside, I couldn't help but twitch the corner of my mouth, unsure whether to enter now or not. To be honest, I didn't wear the ring and had no interest in Jiang Rang. Logically speaking, without the halo effect, there's no way he would have taken a liking to me, so I also find it quite surreal. After Qin Jiajiao finished speaking, her roommate Su Lu asked, I also find it strange. Maybe Jiang Rang values personality more. Jiajiao, how are things with Lu Minghan? Haven't you been going out with him these days? Qin Jiajiao's expression froze. We're getting along just fine. So when do you think you'll get together? After Su Lu asked, Qin Jiajiao gave an evasive reply. It's still too early. We're taking things slow. Seeing they had changed the subject, I finally entered the room. They were momentarily surprised to see me, but quickly greeted me warmly. Qin Jiajiao asked gossipily about what exactly happened between Jiang Rang and me. Shenli, did Jiang Rang confess to you? I smiled, not wanting to ruin our superficial relationship either. Being surface-level roommates to get through the rest of our college years seemed fine. What are you talking about? He was just asking me for advice on a problem. How could he possibly be confessing to me? Qin Jiajiao's eyes darted around. So you're not interested in him at all then? No interest? How could there ever be anything between us? Right now I'm only interested in studying. Qin Jiajiao smiled. Shenli, you're such a bookworm. I smiled too. Studying is about contributing to the nation's development. What's the point of dating? I've read several books recently and would like to recommend them to you. Whenever I brought up studying, they would lose interest and give me perfunctory responses, so I just stopped talking to enjoy some peace. After that day, Jiang Rang stopped contacting me. I thought my life would return to normal and I could smoothly get through university, but a few days later, Qin Jiajiao called me. Her tone was hesitant. Shenli, can you come over for a moment? 5. I frowned and asked, what's wrong? Qin Jiajiao's tone was hesitant. I'm at the mall next to the school. I'm not feeling well. Can you come over? What's wrong with you? Qin Jiajiao said she wasn't feeling well and asked me to pick her up. Although I didn't understand why she came to me, we were after all roommates. Qin Jiajiao rarely asked me for help, and I was afraid she might really be feeling unwell with no one to assist her, so I packed up and went over. When I arrived at the agreed restaurant, I saw Chen Jiajia sitting at the table, not alone, but with Lu Minghan seated across from her. My face immediately turned cold. What do you mean? Didn't you say you were feeling unwell? Your boyfriend is sitting right across from you. Why not ask him for help? Chen Jiajia's face turned ugly as she stood up and pulled me. I'm sorry, Shinli. I lied to you. I was afraid you wouldn't come out. We just wanted to treat you to a meal. Please sit down first. I pushed her away impatiently. I'll take my leave if there's nothing else. As I turned to leave, Lu Minghan spoke coldly. What did you do to Jiang Rang? He's acting very strange right now. I looked at Lu Minghan. What does his bad mood have to do with me? I'm not close to him, nor am I close to any of you. I turned my gaze to Chen Jiajiao. Don't bother me with your problems in the future. As I turned to leave, Lu Minghan raised his voice. Dare to leave, Shenli. If you walk away, I'll tell Jiang Rang your secret. I stopped, curling my lips in a cold smile. What secret do I have? Go ahead, tell me. Lu Minghan's expression darkened. Just keep it in your heart. What do I know? You can't say it out loud, so you're just spreading rumors. Is that it? Lu Minghan clenched his fists, staring at me intently. The you in Jiang Rang's eyes is different from the you we see. I seemed to hear some ridiculous joke and burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. Are you out of your mind, you lunatic? You should ask Jiang Rang about that. How would I know what I look like in his eyes? I turned around. And the moment I left, all expression vanished from my face. Chen Jiajia chased after me, her face pale as she apologized. I'm sorry, Shinli. I don't know what's wrong with Lu Minghan. He insisted I invite you out. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I ignored Chen Jiajiao, but she grabbed my arm. Shinli, please forgive me. Don't give me the cold shoulder. I frowned at Chen Jiajiao. Do you really need to? It's not like you're lacking an ordinary friend like me. Chen Jiajiao's face stiffened, tears welling up in her eyes. Shenli, I genuinely want to be friends with you. Stop pretending. Just say what you want to say. If you don't speak up, we won't need to talk anymore. Chen Jiajia bit her lip, hesitated for a moment, and spoke with difficulty. Lu Minghan is very interested in you. I really like him, but every time we meet, he only asks me about you. If you ignore me, he definitely won't pay attention to me either. I was stunned, feeling everything was utterly absurd. You still like him even though he's like this? Chen Jiajia was on the verge of tears. This is the first time in my life I've liked a boy so much. I'm begging you, please help me. If I help you, who will help me? I said coldly, then pushed her away, changing my mind about leaving. I turned back into the restaurant and found Lu Minghan at his seat. If you keep having my roommate spy on me again, I'll call the police directly. When Chen Jiajia rushed over, this was the sentence she heard. Her mouth fell open, her expression flustered. Lu Minghan's pupils trembled, his emotions complex. Shenli, what are you talking about? Chen Jiajiao came over, trying to stop me. I pushed her away with an icy glare. Chen Jiajiao, I'm telling you. If it weren't for our roommate relationship, I would have called the police. I'm willing to let you off this time, so just shut up. Chen Jiajiao immediately backed down, not daring to speak. I turned to look at Lu Minghan with cold eyes. Write me a handwritten promise letter. If you harass or surveil me again, violating my personal rights, I'll make sure you spend a few days in jail. 6. Lu Minghan's brows were tightly furrowed, his eyes reddening. Shenli, will you write it or not? Lu Minghan said, I want to talk with you. I refused immediately. We have nothing to talk about. Lu Minghan stood up, his eyes reddened, clenching his teeth tightly. Why can you change so quickly? I raised an eyebrow and sneered. What have I changed? Lu Minghan shook his head, murmuring, no, this isn't how things were supposed to go. Shinli, have you forgotten everything? My heart ached as I picked up the phone. Its screen frozen on the 110 emergency call interface. Will you sign the written pledge, or should I call the police? Lu Minghan's face stiffened. I'm not wrong. I won't write it. You're not wrong. You're not wrong to have someone spy on me. After I finished speaking, Lu Minghan stared at me intensely, suddenly raising his voice. That's because I like you. I want to pursue you, so I want to know about you. Is that really not okay? Lu Minghan's words stunned everyone present. The commotion had already drawn a crowd, and now, watching a super handsome guy pouring his heart out to an ordinary girl, everyone was dumbfounded. The most stunned person was Chen Jiajiao. Even if Lu Minghan's behavior was unusual, in her eyes, there was no way he could be interested in me. How could such a dazzling star be attracted to someone as ordinary as me? How could this be possible? She had considered many possibilities, but this one was the only one she ruled out. I also froze for a moment before finally speaking up. I don't like you. In my eyes, you're disgusting. Write the guarantee letter, or I'll call the police. Lu Minghan's eyes grew even redder. and he trembled slightly. Shinli, stop pretending. He walked over, trying to grab my hand. You've come back too, haven't you? You just don't want to face me. Shinli, stop acting. Just tell me clearly what's going on. I just want one answer, Lu Minghan shouted, his reddened eyes making him look somewhat unhinged. I pushed him away, took out my phone, and dialed the police. Lu Minghan, Chen Jiaojiao, and I all went to the police station together. The consequences weren't too severe since no harm was done to me. Lu Minghan and Chen Jiaojiao handwrote apology letters and signed pledges, but this incident caused quite a stir at school. The mall near the school is mostly frequented by students from the same school. Someone took a video and posted it on the school forum. Before we could even resolve our dispute, the news had already spread like wildfire. The top trending post on the school forum was about us, Lu Minghan pursuing an ugly girl, and getting rejected, with the other party even calling the police. Oh my, Lu Minghan never dates, turns out this is his type. What does that girl even look like? Video screenshot. Oh my god, she looks so plain, even my roommate is prettier than her. This girl is something else. Not only Lu Minghan, but Jiang Rang also likes her and got rejected. Lu Minghan and Jiang Rang are still friends too. This girl's got some serious skills. While you're all marveling, I just want to learn this sister's flirting techniques. Please, how did she make the two most popular guys in school fight over her? Are you all normal, only caring about looks? The woman has already reported to the police. Even if Lu Minghan is handsome, his character is quite rotten. She doesn't like him, yet he keeps dragging her along and hires people to monitor her. If I had such a pursuer, I'd be terrified to death. You're thinking too highly of yourself. Lu Minghan wouldn't pursue you. Ha, you're insane, valuing looks over principles. By the time they left the police station, it was already very late. Chen Jiaojiao cried until her eyes were swollen, looking pitiful enough to melt anyone's heart. Having just signed the guarantee, Lu Minghan could only glare at me fiercely, not daring to approach me for conversation again. Exhausted, I spoke to Chen Jiaojiao. Go back and move out of the dorm. I don't want to share a room with you anymore. If you're unwilling, then I'll be the one to leave. Chen Jiaojiao's voice was hoarse. I'll move it myself. Don't need your help. Her eyes held a trace of resentment as she looked at me. Then she turned to Lu Minghan, raised her hand, and slapped him across the face. You knew exactly how I felt, yet you treated me like this. You used me as a tool. Lu Minghan, how did I ever wrong you? I hate you. You scum. Let's never contact each other again. Chen Jiaojiao cried out. While Lu Minghan remained silent, sobbing, Chen Jiaojiao ran away. This incident had hit her hard, but I don't think this is a bad thing. It can make her quickly lose interest and see clearly what a scumbag he is, also preventing her from sinking deeper. When I was about to go back, I saw Jiang Rang coming over anxiously. His eyes were full of concern. I came as soon as I heard the news. Shenli, are you okay? 7. I dodged the coat he was about to drape over me. I'm fine. I'm going back. Jiang Rang was stunned. I'll walk you. I still refused. I'm not close with you. Jiang Rang held me back. It's late now. Taxis are hard to get. Just think of me as your driver. Alright. Lu Minghan stood aside, his face dark as he interrupted Jiang Rang's words. Shenli, don't go with him. I sighed and patted Jiang Rang's shoulder. You go pick up that one instead. He's not right in the head, so you'd better keep an eye on him. I'll ride my bike back myself. After saying that, I walked to the side, scanned a shared bicycle, pushed off with my foot, and rode back. As I rode, I hummed a song. How many times did we say goodbye in those hurried years, delaying after farewells? Pity no one ever admitted that love wasn't just a grand debate of human desires. I gazed at the street lamp on the corner, dim yet bright, while behind me came Lu Minghan's trembling shout. Shenli, you lied to me. I froze, realizing belatedly that this song was Lu Minghan's favorite. He loved listening to it, and after hearing it so often, I could hum it too. I stared at the dim yellow light, pedaling harder, then stretched out my left hand and waved behind me. Goodbye, but clearly. As long as I remained at this school, saying goodbye to Lu Minghan was impossible. Originally, some people thought the forum posts were just rumors or misunderstandings. How could Lu Minghan possibly pursue someone as ordinary as me? But later, Lu Minghan's behavior became increasingly obsessive. He started seeking me out, pursuing me with the same reckless intensity as in our past life. The unwillingness in his eyes reminded me of us in that previous lifetime. Back then, I believed Lu Minghan was just toying with me, so I repeatedly refused to meet him. He got my phone number from my roommate, found my payment app, and transferred me 10 payments of 5,200. When I tried to transfer the money back, he had already blocked me. With such a large amount, I definitely had to return it. Helpless, I met with Lu Minghan to clarify things with him. It was at that time that I gradually became moved by the young man's passion and sincerity. Back then, Lu Minghan truly loved me. So his childish trick worked. In this lifetime, he used the same trick again. When my phone showed a transfer of 200 yuan, I immediately knew it was Lu Minghan. When he sent the third 200 yuan transfer, I blocked him. Even if he's willing to transfer the money, I can't be bothered to look for him. This small amount means nothing to Lu Minghan, since he noted it as a voluntary gift. Let's just consider it as charity. Lu Minghan couldn't wait for me to reach out, so he called me instead. On the other end of the line, he chuckled softly, as if he'd caught me red-handed. You came back after all. You still remember me, Shinli. Even if your appearance has changed, your personality never will. The old you would have contacted me no matter what to return the money. I remained silent and hung up the phone. From today onward, I won't answer any calls without caller ID. Lu Minghan waited outside my dorm every day, holding a fresh bouquet of flowers each morning as I headed to class. He didn't disturb me, just watched me quietly. Shinli, I just want an explanation. I reported him to the school, which strictly prohibited Lu Minghan's behavior, but that didn't stop him. He stopped bringing flowers, but instead kept coincidentally meeting me around campus. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and confronted him directly. Come, let's have a proper talk. 8. I once asked what Lu Minghan thought of me in his eyes. He said I was radiant with pearly teeth, as beautiful as a celestial maiden. I always took it as a joke, never took it seriously, but now, I want to know, what do I truly look like in Lu Minghan's eyes? I gave him a piece of paper and asked him to draw my portrait. Draw the Shenli in your heart. Lu Minghan froze. You finally confessed to me. Draw her, I urged once again. Lu Minghan took the paper and held the pen, but didn't make a move for a long while. I frowned. If you can't draw, we can find someone to do it. Lu Minghan's hand holding the pen trembled violently, suddenly gasping for breath. His entire body shook uncontrollably. Without making a single stroke, he pushed the paper and pen onto the floor. He looked at me, his eyes filled with fear and despair. I don't remember her anymore. I don't remember her. That face turned into yours. He suddenly lunged forward and grabbed me by the collar. Give her back to me. Give my Ali back to me. Lu Minghan pushed me against the wall. I silently watched as he gradually broke down, until finally, he begged me for mercy. Please, give my Ali back to me. I miss her so much. I miss her so much. Lu Minghan was crying, and my heart ached with each sob. I spoke, my voice very soft. Your Ali has already disappeared. Lu Minghan froze and asked me, where did she go? The her from before loved you, but now she doesn't anymore. So, your Ali has disappeared. As I spoke, Lu Minghan stared at my face, murmuring, she's you, isn't she? I took out that ring right in front of Lu Minghan. Lu Minghan recognized it immediately as the ring I often wore. He became emotionally agitated. Where did you get this ring from? I placed the ring in my palm and held it out to him. I found this ring. Inside the box where I picked it up, there was an instruction manual. It said that by wearing this ring, you can become the ideal type of your secret crush. Back in college, I was an ugly duckling. So my fantasy was the most popular guy on campus. You, Lu Minghan. Lu Minghan snatched the ring like a madman, completely believing my words without a shred of doubt. Shinli, I beg you to put it on. Please, just let me see her one more time. I stared at him coldly, took the ring from his hand, and put it on. But after putting it on, there was no change on my body. Lu Minghan's expression immediately turned disappointed. No change. You lied to me. I took off the ring and tilted my head at him. Because, I don't love you anymore. 9. Lu Minghan remained silent for a long time. I pushed him away. I've explained it clearly to you. Don't come looking for me again. At the moment I turned away, Lu Minghan grabbed my hand. Ali, can you give me one more chance? I looked at him, my eyes filled with mockery. Which Ali are you really thinking of? I pulled away from Lu Minghan's hand and saw Jiang Rang standing at the door as I left. When he saw me, his expression faltered slightly before he asked with concern, I heard your voice and came to check. I gave a faint hum and brushed past Jiang Rang. From then on, Lu Minghan stopped contacting me. He became depressed, stopped coming to school, and went for psychological treatment instead. I heard from others that he developed depression because he couldn't remember his lover clearly. After Lu Minghan left, Jiang Rang gradually became part of my life. He knows his boundaries well. Aware that I'm not too keen on interacting with him, so he gradually approaches me, maintaining contact within appropriate limits. Lu Minghan's love is passionate and unrestrained, wishing the whole world could know about it, while Jiang Rang is the opposite. His love is a gentle stream, slowly occupying your life, This slow-boiling frog approach made me realize too late that Jiang Rang had already completely infiltrated my life, holding a cup of hot milk tea. He waited for me after class and gently extended his invitation. A new hot pot restaurant opened near the school. Let's go try it. He remembers my preferences. I like spicy food but have a sensitive stomach, so he always prepares yogurt and stomach medicine for me. I've never worn a ring in front of Jiang Rang, so in his eyes, I'm just me. I think this ring has lost its purpose, because perhaps I've already found someone who truly cares for me. Half a year after getting to know Jiang Rang, we graduated. Leveraging Jiang Rang's family connections, I smoothly secured a position at a prestigious large company, successfully transitioning from intern to full-time employee with a signed contract. On the day I became a full-time employee, Jiang Rang confessed to me. I said yes to him. Looking at Jiang Rang's smiling face, I asked him, Jiang Rang, do you love me? He held me, his voice soft. Of course I love you, silly. I took out the ring from my hand, thinking this was my last test. Jiang Rang noticed my action. When did you buy this ring? It's really beautiful. I told Jiang Rang to turn around, and he obediently complied. After putting on the ring, I asked him to count to 3 before turning around himself. 3, 2, 1, I'm turning around now. He turned around, his originally gentle smile turning into astonishment. It lasted only a second, then quickly vanished. I asked him with a smile, now, what do I look like in your eyes? Jiang Rang remained silent. No change. I covered my mouth and giggled coyly. Of course there's no change, silly. I hugged Jiang Rang and whispered softly in his ear, because, I don't love you at all. Jiang Rang, he screamed and kicked me out, claiming he didn't know me at all. I felt like I'd fallen into hell. When I returned to school, I found my ring was missing and had to go back to Lu Minggen's house to search for it. Jiang Rang's face turned deathly pale. I let go of him, picked up my bag, and ignored Jiang Rang's calls behind me. When Jiang Rang approached me, Lu Minghan had once sought me out. He looked much thinner, staring at me blankly. I urged him to speak, and he told me a secret. Shenli, don't trust Jiang Rang. He had a first love who died in a car accident. He's only approaching you to use you. I froze for a moment before thanking him. Thank you, I understand now. As I was leaving, Lu Minghan called out to me again. He whispered softly, Shenli, I'm sorry. I turned and walked away, while the man sat behind, clutching his chest, softly murmuring the unspoken words, I love you. In the evening, my colleagues threw a party for me to celebrate my official employment. They noticed the ring on my finger. Your boyfriend bought it for you. It's really beautiful. I raised my hand and proudly showed it off. What are you talking about? I don't have a boyfriend. I bought this myself. Then why are you wearing it on your middle finger? Single people wear rings on the middle finger. I laughed, looking at the ring, lowered my eyes, and gently kissed it solemnly. Because, I am the one I love the most. Girls, love yourselves. The end. Story 2. The baby's cries were particularly piercing in the dead of night, and my temples throbbed. Xiao Xiao, the baby is hungry. Wang Chang pushed me, half asleep, urging me to make powdered milk. I stared at the little face in the crib, and my body couldn't stop trembling. Who would have thought that this little life, crying for food, would push me to my death with her own hands 18 years later? Slap, a resounding slap landed on Wang Chang's face. What the hell are you doing? He woke up instantly, covering his face and staring with wide eyes. Why should I make the powdered milk? What's the use of you? In my previous life, I always blamed myself, wondering if there was something wrong with my way of education. Later, I finally realized that raising a child should never be the sole responsibility of the mother. Given a second chance at life, I will send them to hell with my own hands. I seem to hear the baby's cries again. Honey, Lele is hungry. Go make the milk quickly. After muttering the words, Wang Chang turned over and went back to sleep. I was stunned. I had actually been reborn. The next second, I slapped him directly. Wang Chang woke up with a start, covering his face. Are you crazy? It's the middle of the night. Go make the milk for the baby, I said coldly. He still didn't move, his voice muffled in the pillow. Aren't you awake? Just do it while you're at it. Do you have to call me? I raised my voice. Wang Chang, you're the baby's father. Taking care of the child isn't just my business. I play with her during the day, make her complimentary food, and coax her to sleep. I even have to get up at night to make milk. You think I don't need to rest, right? He finally turned around, frowning. Can you keep your voice down? What if we wake up Lele? It's just making some milk. Do you have to be so nitpicky? I sneered. Me, nitpicky? Wang Chang, get this straight. Lele is our child, not just my responsibility. You're tired from work, but am I not tired from taking care of the child at home? You sleep like a log every day. Have you ever taken care of the baby when she cries at night? He sat up, his tone impatient too. Fine, fine, I'll go make it. Okay, stop yelling here. Aren't you annoying? As he got out of bed, he mumbled, seriously, we can even argue over making milk. I watched him slowly walk towards the kitchen, and a chill ran through my heart. This was my husband, the father of my child, in his eyes. Taking care of the child was always my business. And any problem with the child was also my fault. Looking back on my previous life, I tried my best to love Wang Lele. From the moment she was born, I devoted all my energy to her. When she was little, I got up early every day to make her a nutritious breakfast and send her to school. At night, I accompanied her to do her homework until she fell asleep. But Wang Lele dropped out of school in junior high. That day, she stood in front of me, her head lowered, and said in a small but firm voice, Mom, I don't want to study anymore. I want to learn hairdressing. I was so sad that my body trembled, but I still took her hand and said, Baby, you're still young. Although studying isn't the only way out, the more you study, the more options you'll have in the future. But she just bit her lip, with tears welling up in her eyes, yet she refused to say a word. Later, she really went to a hairdressing salon as an apprentice. She left early and came back late every day. And her hands were always stained with the color of hair dye. Looking at her like that, I was angry and at the same time, but she always said with a smile, Mom, I think this is pretty good. Until that day, she brought a boy with yellow hair home. The boy was wearing ripped jeans, had earrings in his ears, and a cigarette in his mouth, looking very casual and unruly. His name was Sun Mingwei, and she met him at the hairdressing salon. I lost my temper on the spot and pointed to the door, telling him to get out, but Wang Lele stood in front of him and shouted at me, Mom, can you stop interfering in my business? I'm already grown up. Sun Mingwei is really good to me. He gives me flowers on Valentine's Day and buys me a cake on my birthday. Since then, she got closer and closer to Sun Mingwei, and even started staying out all night. I was worried every day. She didn't answer my calls or reply to my messages. One day, she came back with red eyes, holding a pregnancy test stick in her hand. The two red lines stabbed at my eyes painfully. Lele bit her lip, her voice trembling a little. Mom, I'm pregnant. My mind went buzz. I stared at her and my voice involuntarily rose. What did you say? Say it again. I'm pregnant. And I want to give birth to the baby. Lele raised her head, her eyes showing stubbornness. I was so angry that my body shook. I pointed at Sun Mingwei and asked, Is this his child? Sun Mingwei lowered his head and didn't say a word, but Lele rushed to say, Mom, this is our child, and we want to raise him together. With what do you plan to raise the child? You've just turned an adult, and what about him? Does he have a job, an income? Sun Mingwei finally spoke, his voice very low. Auntie, I will work hard, work hard. I interrupted him. Work hard at what? Work hard at playing games, work hard at smoking and drinking. Do you know how much it costs to raise a child? Milk powder, diapers, schooling. Have you thought about all these things? Lele's eyes turned red, and her voice also got louder. Mom, don't talk about him like that. We really love each other, and the child is the crystallization of our love. Crystallization of love. You can't even support yourselves. What are you talking about when it comes to the crystallization of love? Lele, how old are you? Your life has just begun. Why do you want to be tied down by a child so early? Lele bit her lip and said, It's none of your business. I've already decided. I want to give birth to this child, and no matter how difficult it is, I will take responsibility. Looking at her stubborn appearance, I was both angry and I knew that no matter what else I said, she wouldn't listen. But I still couldn't help asking Sun Mingwei, what can you give her? What can you give the child? He lowered his head, and it took him a long time to choke out a sentence. Auntie, I will find a job. I sneered. Find a job? Do you think it's that easy to find a job? Even if you do, is your meager salary enough for anything? Lele suddenly shouted at me, Mom, stop forcing him. Our business is none of your business. Wang Chang rushed up and pointed at my nose and scolded. Look at how you're a mother. The child has become like this, and it's all your fault. I couldn't believe my ears. I worked hard, tried my best to spare time to accompany Lele, gave her the best life, and raised her in a wealthy way. Why in Wang Chang's eyes, all of Wang Lele's mistakes were caused by me. Just as we were arguing, Sun Mingwei suddenly pushed me hard. The back of my head hit the corner of the tea table hard, and blood immediately flowed out. Dad, Brother Wei didn't do it on purpose. Lele's first reaction wasn't to call an ambulance but to rush to excuse Sun Mingwei. I know, Dad knows. This is an accident. It's not your fault. Wang Chang's reaction made me even more disheartened. He actually forgave him casually. I lay on the ground, my chest aching sharply, and my breathing became more and more difficult. In my ears were the conversations between Lele and Wang Chang, and neither of them thought of saving me. I tried my best to shout, but I couldn't make a sound. At this moment, I suddenly understood that no matter how hard I tried, some people and some things were ultimately unchangeable. Lele's choice, Wang Chang's indifference, and my own destiny seemed to have been destined long ago. I closed my eyes, my consciousness gradually fading, and there was only one thought left in my heart: if there is an afterlife, I will definitely not live like this again. Thank goodness. I was given a chance to be reborn. The next morning, Wang Lele woke up hungry and started crying and whining in bed. Honey, I'm going fishing. Remember to make milk for Lele, Wang Chang said as he walked towards the door, carrying a fishing tackle bag in his hand. I stepped in front of him and said, I'm going for an interview. Lele is in your care. Wang Chang frowned, his tone full of dissatisfaction. What does a man know about taking care of a child? A man is meant to do great things. We work hard outside. And women should just be good housekeepers at home. I sneered and retorted unceremoniously, after you pay off the mortgage, the car loan, and the money for your mother's old age support, is there any money left? Which expense in this family isn't being supported by me? Given a second chance at life, I have already seen through his selfishness and incompetence. In this life, I can definitely take advantage of the information gap to complete the accumulation of wealth in advance. Wang Chang's face immediately turned ugly, and he stammered, wasn't there still a lot of the betrothal gift left? I looked at him coldly, my tone full of mockery. When I had a massive hemorrhage during childbirth, we used the money from the betrothal gift to pay the medical bills. The betrothal gift is my guarantee, not yours. After he finished speaking, I slammed the door and left without looking back. When I got home in the evening and opened the door, I saw Wang Chang in a hurry, holding the crying Lele, with the milk bottle on the ground and powdered milk spilled everywhere. He looked exhausted and immediately complained when he saw me. How could you leave the child and go to work? Look at what a mess the house is in. I put down my bag and said calmly, I passed the interview, and my salary is higher than yours. Why don't you quit your job and stay home to take care of the child? He was stunned, his face turning red and then white. Are you kidding me? How can a man stay home to take care of a child? Wang Chang, remember, the child isn't just mine. It wasn't my mother who urged us to have a baby in the first place. My words made Wang Chang react immediately. Before long, I heard him on the phone in the living room. Mom, Xiaowen is going to work. Come and help us take care of the child. On the phone, my mother-in-law's voice was so loud that it was ear-piercing, and I could hear it clearly even in the bedroom. I'm already at this age, and you still want to make me work to death? My body isn't in a condition to help you take care of the child. Can't you just let me enjoy my old age in peace? I sneered in my heart. My mother-in-law was only in her early 50s. She could dance square dance, climb mountains, and go for long walks without any problem. Why did she suddenly have health problems when it came to taking care of the child? Wang Chang's tone became a bit urgent. Mom, it was you who urged us to have a baby in the first place. Now you can't just ignore it, can you? If you don't come to help, we'll have to hire a nanny. But if we do that, the expenses will be high, and your old age support money might have to be stopped. When my mother-in-law heard this, her voice got even louder. What do you mean? Are you threatening me? I'm your own mother. Wang Chang sighed. Mom, I'm not threatening you. I really have no other choice. Xiaowen's salary is higher than mine, and it's better for the family if she goes to work. If you don't help, we really can't manage. My mother-in-law was silent for a while, and finally said reluctantly, fine, I'll come over tomorrow. But I'm telling you, I'll only take care of the child. I won't do any other work. I didn't listen to what they said next. Anyway, I knew that Wang Chang always had a way to make his mother compromise. In my previous life, we had to pay an extra 10,000 yuan per month to invite my mother-in-law to come. This time, that money could be saved. Sure enough, early the next morning, my mother-in-law appeared at my door carrying big and small bags. She had a stern face and mumbled as soon as she entered the door, I really owe you with these old bones of mine. I turned a deaf ear to my mother-in-law's words and smiled at her. Thank you, Mom. Then I turned to Wang Chang, who was making milk for Wang Lele, and said, I'm going to work. Honey, maybe some people will ask, why not just get a divorce? Because according to the law, children under 2 years old are generally awarded to the mother for custody. In this life, I just want to stay far away from Wang Lele, let alone raise her alone. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I got up before the alarm clock rang. I drove to the Xingmei live streaming base in the industrial park. which was the base of my live streaming sales team. I picked up the name tag on the table and pinned it to my chest. Xia Wen, Senior Consultant of Xingmei Live Streaming. Dear viewers, look at the concealing power of this BB cream. In front of the 3 cameras, I switched to a sweet voice. 2 hours later, I removed my heavy makeup, tied up my ponytail, and turned into a live streamer selling agricultural products. With grape juice still on my apron, I then changed into autumn clothes and became a fashion buyer. I rotated among 6 live streaming rooms for health products, smart home appliances, and other products. I didn't collapse into the office chair until the neon lights came on. Today's sales reached 3.67 million yuan. Behind this string of numbers was the 1.2 million yuan put together by my parents mortgaging their house and all my savings. In the past 2 years, I claimed to be a live streamer externally, but in fact, I was the boss behind the scenes. I knew that live streaming would be the trend in the future, and I wanted to seize this opportunity. Every month, I would hand over a fixed salary, neither more nor less, just 400 yuan more than Wang Chang's. I didn't have breakfast at home, and I also had dinner outside before going home, if asked. I would say that the company has good benefits and provides 3 meals a day. As for the money for buying groceries, don't even think about it. I won't pay a penny. Wang Lele was already over 2 years old, and my mother-in-law was still chasing her around to feed her. Good girl, open your mouth wide. Ah, so good, my mother-in-law praised as she fed her. I went out to get some water and saw this scene, feeling nothing in my heart. My mother-in-law glanced at me and said proudly, look. Lele is well fed and chubby by me. Isn't she great? Indeed, she was chubby. At only 2 years old, she weighed more than 20 kilograms, and she was so fat that she looked like a ball. Good girl. Do you want to eat a roasted chicken drumstick? Grandma will take you to buy one later. My mother-in-law coaxed her. I casually reminded, try to eat less of this kind of food. It's easy for children to develop prematurely. Before my mother-in-law could speak, Wang Lele was unhappy. She pouted and said, Mom is bad, Grandma is good. I don't want Mom, I want Grandma. Eat slowly. I didn't bother to say more. That reminder was like a fart. My mother-in-law even instigated Wang Lele outside. Let's not want her. She's a bad mom. I lay on the bed and looked through the live streaming sales list. The sales of tens of millions yuan overnight made me too excited to fall asleep. This kind of exhaustion from working hard for my job was completely different from the tiredness of being a housewife. Now, I no longer have to be stingy because of lack of money, and I don't have to worry about Wang Lele's education problems. I only have work in my eyes, and it gives me confidence. I have to say that Wang Chang has indeed made some progress in the past 2 years. He got promoted and received a raise, but he also made the mistake that most men tend to make when they have money. He had an affair. I knew it was time to get a divorce. But Wang Chang had to leave the house with nothing. Wang Chang called me. As soon as I answered, he started scolding me furiously. You should get off work earlier in the future and come back to cook. Also, get up earlier in the morning. The house is in a mess, and you don't even bother to clean it up. Seriously, I suspected that he was just looking for trouble for no reason. Isn't your mother at home? I retorted. She has to cook, take care of the child, and clean the house. How tired she must be. Wang Chang said this with full confidence. When I was taking care of the child, cooking, and cleaning the house before, why didn't I see you find someone to give me a hand? I replied coldly. Wang Chang got angry. What the hell do you mean? Do you not want to live together anymore? I didn't say anything and directly forwarded the photos sent by the private detective to him. In the photos, he and a woman came out of the hotel intimately. Wang Chang was obviously stunned for a moment, but he quickly continued, since you already know, I won't hide it from you. Men have a lot of social engagements outside. Which one of them doesn't do this? Besides, I work so hard to support the family. Aren't you satisfied? What's wrong with me having some fun outside? His brazenness was completely based on his own perception. Yes, in his eyes, a full-time housewife who can only do laundry and cooking is useless and deserves to be looked down upon. Even the child thought that such a mother was incompetent. But he forgot that I have a job now and have the confidence to stand on my own. You are indeed quite hardworking. It's so nice now that there are people to serve you both in and out of bed. Wang Lele also likes your new girlfriend very much. I won't come back. That's right. Wang Lele had already met Wang Chang's new girlfriend. It seemed that they got along well. After all, the new girlfriend wouldn't stop her from eating hamburgers and fried chicken, and would even buy her iced cola and ice cream. At night, I didn't go home. I stayed in a 5-star hotel for one night, letting the soft mattress hold me up. I had been pretending to be poor at home for the past 2 years. and I hadn't felt this relaxed for a long time. The next day, I rented an apartment and started a new life. I rushed back and forth between the company and the apartment every day and didn't even glance at my former home. Wang Chang panicked, because his girlfriend was pregnant. Chaowen, are you crazy? Why don't you come home? Are you fooling around with men outside? My mother-in-law shouted at me on the phone. Wang Leilei's voice also came through. I don't want this bad mom. I want Aunt Zhang to be my mom. Let her die. A child so young actually cursed someone to death. I knew that the saying man's nature at birth is good wasn't true. Wang Leilei had some innate bad qualities. The calls from home became more and more frequent. After a month, Wang Chang finally couldn't hold back and proposed a divorce. I agreed to meet him and negotiate. As soon as I got to the door of the house, I heard laughter and chatter coming from inside. Wang Leilei was laughing happily and said, Aunt Zhang, I like you so much. A sweet and clear female voice replied, I like Leilei too. I really wish you were my daughter. Auntie will make a lot of fried chicken and hamburgers for you to eat. This was Wang Chang's new lover, Zhang Xiaojing. Wang Chang was also there. He interrupted and said, don't spoil her too much, she's too fat now. Zhang Xiaojing smiled and explained, the child is still young, she will naturally lose weight when she grows up, it's just baby fat now. My mother-in-law also chimed in, yeah, it's normal for a child to be a bit chubby. I said the same thing before. That damned woman Chaowen even talked about hormones and precocious puberty. She was just scaring people. I stood at the door, expressionless, listening to all this. After pushing the door open, 4 pairs of eyes all looked at me at once. Wang Leilei hadn't grown taller, but she had gained a lot more weight. The flesh on her face had squeezed her eyes into a slit. This was caused by her eating high-calorie food every day. She was already annoying. And after getting fatter, she looked even more ill-tempered, completely lacking the soft and cute appearance that a child should have. Wang Leilei suddenly threw herself into Zhang Xiaojing's arms. I don't want her. Aunt Zhang is my mom. I ignored Wang Leilei's words and directly looked at Zhang Xiaojing. She seemed a bit embarrassed and forced a smile at me. Wang Chang immediately stood in front of Zhang Xiaojing, frowning and glaring at me, his tone full of dissatisfaction. Don't blame Jingjing. It's you who left home and didn't come back. That's why I brought her back to take care of Leilei. I sneered. Wasn't it you who had an affair first? As soon as Wang Chang heard this, he immediately stood up and raised his voice. What are you talking nonsense about? Who had an affair? Now you're even good at turning things around, aren't you? I looked at him coldly, my tone calm but sarcastic. Fine, you didn't have an affair. And she's not pregnant either. As for the divorce, since you said that, then let's just drag it out and see who can afford to wait. After saying that, I turned around and was about to leave, but Wang Chang suddenly called out to me, his tone a bit flustered. Wait, what exactly do you want? I stopped and looked back at him, my tone firm. I don't want anything. Since you proposed the divorce, then we'll follow the legal procedures. I looked at Zhang Xiaojing's belly, which was slightly bulging. I estimated that she was already 3 or 4 months pregnant. If we waited for the legal judgment, I'm afraid she would give birth soon. I sneered in my heart. No wonder they were so eager to get a divorce. My mother-in-law suddenly spoke, her tone urgent. This divorce must be finalized quickly. My grandson can't be born without a father. After saying that, she covered her mouth. She also knew that she had slipped up. So that's it, Zhang Xiaojing was carrying a son. No wonder my mother-in-law was so anxious. I remembered that when Wang Leilei had just turned 1 month old, my mother-in-law had forced me to have a second child, saying something like there has to be a boy in the family to carry on the family line. Now, it was all good. Zhang Xiaojing had helped her achieve this wish. I looked at Wang Chang coldly and said directly, since you've all planned it out, I have nothing more to say. Divorce is okay, but the conditions have to be as I say. Leilei will be in your custody, the house and the savings will be mine, and you'll leave the house with nothing. As soon as Wang Chang heard this, his face immediately changed, and his tone became a bit excited. What do you mean by that? Why should I leave the house with nothing? The house and the savings were earned by both of us. I sneered and pointed at Zhang Xiaojing's belly. Just because you had an affair and got her pregnant, if you don't agree, then we'll see each other in court and see how the judge will rule. Wang Chang was suddenly at a loss for words, his face turning pale with anger. Zhang Xiaojing stood aside, her head lowered and not daring to speak, her hand unconsciously touching her belly. Seeing this, my mother-in-law quickly interrupted, Qiang, just agree to it. The most important thing for our family now is my grandson, everything else is not important. We can earn the house and the savings back if we lose them. But we can't delay the child. Wang Chang gritted his teeth. It was obvious that he was struggling internally. After a long while, He finally sighed and his tone softened. Fine, I agree to leave the house with nothing. Zhang Xiaojing then raised her head and said tentatively, then, can we go through the formalities as soon as possible? I'm afraid that if it's delayed for too long, it will be bad for the child. I gave her a cold look and didn't respond. My mother-in-law quickly chimed in. Yes, let's do it quickly, don't delay my grandson. I was too lazy to entangle with them anymore and directly said, we'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to go through the formalities tomorrow and solve it all at once. Just like that, Wang Cheng compromised and agreed to leave the house with nothing. I knew that Wang Cheng still had an annual bonus that he hadn't taken out, which was probably hundreds of thousands of yuan. This included the salary he had withheld over the years. But now I didn't care about that little money at all. After all, the house was more valuable. I successfully divorced Wang Cheng. The house and the savings all belonged to me. My mother-in-law sent me a text message scolding me. Xiaowen, you're so heartless that you don't even want your child. My son earns 86,000 yuan a month, and we'll be able to buy another house soon. Do you think you're amazing just because you have money and savings? Hee. Now you don't have a husband and you don't have a child either. No one will take care of you when you're old. My mother-in-law's mouth was still as tough as ever and hadn't changed at all. My state was getting better and better, and I was full of vitality. All my efforts hadn't been in vain, and I finally saw the rewards. In the past, I had given all my energy and love to my family and my daughter, but now, I was just putting that energy and love back on myself. 3 months later, in the lobby of the Xingmei live streaming base, Xiaowen, stop right there. Wang Cheng dragged Wang Lele and rushed through the revolving door, with my mother-in-law following closely behind. I turned around and sneered, we've already got the divorce certificate. If you have something to say, spit it out quickly. Why don't you care about the child? Wang Cheng pushed Wang Lele, whose nose and tears were all over her face, forward. Look at how fat your daughter has become, she's like a pig. I glanced at Wang Lele, who was gnawing on a fried chicken. Grease spots splashed on her pink dress in XXXL size. Wasn't this raised with the annual bonus you hid? 368,000 yuan is enough for her to eat until she weighs 200 jin. Wang Cheng was left speechless by me. My former mother-in-law slapped her thigh and shouted, now that you have money, you think we're poor. Your daughter calls for you every day. Wasn't it you who taught her to call me a witch? What, do you remember now that I'm her mother? I retorted, leaving my former mother-in-law speechless. You fucking lied to me. Wang Cheng threw the divorce agreement on the ground. You said you had a monthly salary of 8,000 yuan, but it turns out you're the boss of such a big company. He pointed at my huge poster on the wall, the Xingmei CEO Annual Award Ceremony. I didn't know where they got the news. They had set their eyes on the live streaming company and came here to cause trouble with the intention of taking advantage. My former mother-in-law suddenly sat on the ground and slapped her thighs while crying and wailing. There's no justice. The daughter-in-law drives a Porsche and lives in a big villa, while making her husband and child squeeze into a small shabby house. Mom is bad. Wang Lele suddenly splashed the cola on my high-end custom-made suit. Aunt Zhang said you're a witch, and when you die, all the money will be mine. Taking the opportunity, Wang Cheng grabbed my arm, either give me 50 million yuan, or I'll bring Lele here to cause trouble every day. I shook him off and sneered, who had an affair during the marriage, who transferred the property, you lied to me. The veins on Wang Cheng's forehead bulged. Could you have started the company without my support? Hee. Did I lie to you to sleep with someone else? The 1,000 yuan you gave me every month wasn't even enough to buy groceries. I took out my phone and showed the transfer records. Look, you transferred 1,000 yuan every month and even noted voluntary gift. Wang Cheng's face turned pale. I directly confronted him. The money to start the company was the money my parents had saved for their old age. The legal representative of the company is my father, and my mother is in charge of the financial seal. You can't even find the door number of the company. My former mother-in-law suddenly slapped her thigh. What about the betrothal gift money? The 100,000 yuan betrothal gift was already spent. I paid for the prenatal checkups and the childbirth. If you want the bills, the company's lawyer will send them to you. Wang Cheng reached out to grab my phone, and I slapped his hand away. Want to divide the money, reincarnate as a cleaner in my company in your next life. I didn't want to waste time and turned around to leave. Suddenly, Wang Lele hugged my leg. Mom, I don't like Zhang Xiaojing. She has no money. I want mom. Is this the script your dad wrote for you? I found it ridiculous. Wang Lele shook her head. I want to live in a big house and eat a lot of hamburgers. Let go. I'm not your mom. I looked at her indifferently. She was indignant. The book says that moms all love their children. You don't deserve to be my mom at all. Go find whoever deserves to be your mom. You're a witch, a despised woman that no one wants, Wang Lele swore. And the words didn't sound like they came from a child under 3 years old at all. She was beyond redemption. I turned around and left without hesitation. A week later, Ms. Xiao, something's wrong, when Xiaomei burst into the office. I was signing the last contract. I frowned and put down the pen. How many times have I told you that when something happens, you should, you're on the blacklist of the trending topics. She directly pushed the tablet in front of me. Wang Chang is live streaming with Lele, playing the victim. Now the whole internet is scolding us for being a heartless company. I clicked on Weibo. And the topic hashtag heartless female boss abandons husband and daughter hashtag was on the trending topics. In the top video, Wang Chang was sitting on the sofa, holding the crying Lele. Dear netizens, please judge for us, Wang Chang said in front of the camera. My ex-wife had an affair during the marriage and transferred the property. She doesn't even want her daughter. The child is less than 3 years old. Since she was abandoned by her mother, she has been having nightmares and wetting the bed every day. Last week, she had a fever of 40 degrees. I knelt in the hospital corridor, holding the child, and begged the doctor to see her first. Where's the money? The money was all transferred away by this vicious woman. Back then, when she had a massive hemorrhage after giving birth, I was so anxious outside the delivery room that I almost sold the house to raise money. But now she's actually hiding the property during the marriage. The video suddenly switched to a close-up of Lele. The child under 3 years old had red and swollen eyes from crying. Mom doesn't want me anymore. Mom took all of Dad's money, Mom said that Lele is fat. She suddenly burst into tears. The comment section exploded immediately. If a child so young hasn't controlled her weight well, it must be the mother's responsibility. Such a woman deserves to go to hell. Find out who she is, expose her company, reveal the address, send wreaths. I tap the table with my fingertips. Ask the technical department to check the IP addresses. Mark all the big accounts that are inciting the public opinion. An hour later, there were crowds of reporters downstairs of Xingmei Media. The internet trolls hired by Wang Chang were very professional. The return rate in the live streaming room soared by 300%, and the brand owner's termination letters came flying in like snowflakes. Ms. Xiao, should we close the live streaming room first? The director of public relations had sweat on his forehead. No, I played with my phone. Inform all the live streamers to go live as usual and turn on all the backup cameras. At 8 o'clock that night, Wang Chang's live streaming account was suddenly pushed by a top influencer, with the title being Expose the Scandals of the Heartless Ex-Wife. Ms. Xiao, the director of public relations hand holding the termination letter was shaking. At least issue a statement. Statement, I suddenly laughed out loud. Issuing a statement now is like feeding raw meat to a starving wolf. I put down the water glass in my hand. If you're going to feed it, you might as well feed it something poisoned. Special effects of fireworks exploded in Wang Chang's live streaming room, and there were continuous rewards. The number of viewers soared straight up, reaching as many as 1 million. He deliberately changed the background to our wedding photo and wiped his tears hypocritically. She transferred as much as 20 million yuan of the property during our marriage. When she gave birth to a child back then, I stayed by her side for 3 days and 3 nights. When I kicked open the door of the live streaming room, Wang Chang was performing in front of the camera. Mr. Wang. I slapped the prenatal examination form on the table. Zhang Xiaojing is 32 weeks pregnant. I deliberately paused and watched as his cold sweat dripped onto the divorce mediation document. However, it's only been 3 months since we got divorced. You're spouting blood. Wang Chang suddenly overturned the chair. I don't know her. I chuckled and raised my phone to play the recording. Zhang Xiaojing's sweet and greasy gasps exploded in the live streaming room. Brother Chang, will your wife find out? So what if she finds out? Does that shrew dare to mention divorce? His expression froze instantly, like a rooster with its neck choked. The bullet comments scrolled frantically. Damn, an earth-shattering reversal. OMG, a live broadcast of a bed scene. Where's the guy who was crying just now? Dear viewers, I turned to the camera and held up the prenatal examination form. This Mr. Wang, who claims to love his wife dearly, actually had an affair during the marriage a long time ago. It's only been 3 months since we got divorced. And his son is about to be born. The image of Wang Chang hugging the pregnant woman and entering the elevator in the surveillance footage caused exclamations in the bullet comments. He calls himself a loving father who has been raising the child alone as if his wife were dead, but he was just busy accompanying his mistress. You're talking nonsense. Wang Chang suddenly picked up a chair and threw it at me. This is all synthesized by AI. The veins on his neck bulged. It's you who hid the property during the marriage. Whether I hid the property during the marriage or not will be investigated by the public security organs. I looked at Wang Chang, who was shivering across from me. By the way, how many years is the sentence for bigamy, plus the crimes of slander and fabricating evidence? Wang Chang rushed towards me but was stopped by the police. The police put handcuffs on Wang Chang. Wang Chang, you are suspected of bigamy and slander. You are now under formal arrest. Wang Chang suddenly broke free from the restraint and knelt down on the ground. Wife, I was wrong. It was all that bitch Zhang Xiaojing's idea. For the sake of our 5 years of marriage, in my previous life, I tried my best to love Wang Lele. Later, I sued Wang Chang in court, and I didn't let go of those keyboard warriors who joined in the either. According to Article 246 of the criminal law, if someone deliberately fabricates and spreads false facts, damaging others' reputation, and the circumstances are serious, they shall be sentenced to fixed-term imprisonment of not more than 3 years, criminal detention, public surveillance, or deprivation of political rights. If the same slanderous information is clicked on and viewed more than 5,000 times, or forwarded more than 500 times, it is considered that the circumstances are serious. Wang Chang was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The platform blocked a large number of Big V accounts that spread rumors randomly, ruining their livelihoods. After Wang Chang was arrested, Zhang Xiaojing went to the hospital to have an abortion with a 7-month-old pregnant belly. The doctor scolded her for being crazy. The baby can survive if it's born. What you're doing is murder. She turned around and found an unlicensed clinic in an urban village. As a result, she had massive bleeding halfway through the operation and died before the ambulance arrived. Spring passed and winter came, and time slipped by quietly. One day 5 years later, when I was buying fruits on the street, I suddenly saw an old woman and a young girl rummaging through the trash can. They gave off an unpleasant smell. I thought they looked familiar. Upon closer inspection, they turned out to be my former mother-in-law and Wang Lele. My former mother-in-law was so old that she was almost unrecognizable. Her back was hunched and she couldn't straighten up. She kept coughing and looked extremely weak. Wang Lele was dressed dirty. She tightly clutched a few garbage bottles she had picked up in her hand, and there was a hint of confusion and helplessness in her eyes. I heard my former mother-in-law complaining to the sanitation worker next to her. My son gambled and owed a huge debt. Now I don't know where he's hiding. It's just me, an old woman, left to take care of the child. I really can't go on like this. Her voice trembled, mixed with deep helplessness and despair. My eldest granddaughter is only 8 years old. How can I raise her alone? Her voice grew lower and lower, and finally it almost turned into a murmur. My son was so good before. How could he get addicted to gambling? She continued to chatter on. She talked about how much debt her son owed, how the creditors came to the door every day to demand repayment, how her daughter-in-law left without even saying a word, and how the child cried for her parents every day. Wang Lele got annoyed. You old hag, buy me fried chicken. Wang Lele suddenly tore at my former mother-in-law's hair like a madwoman. My former mother-in-law was pushed to the ground, and Wang Lele didn't stop. She pounced